Today to have Right at School here with us to present the information about an after-school program for our students. Many of you know that we have had a program called Frida Kahlo for the last 5 years here in the district. From that, we had a grant that supported the Frida programming here within the district. That grant is sunsetting this school year at the end of June. And so we have spent this school year looking for a program that we could bring to the district that would both have enrichment activities for students as well as academic activities for students as an extension of the school day. So through a lot of research and checking a lot of references, we ended up finding Right at School, and we are super excited to have them here with us tonight to share the program, to share more information about what you could expect for your students after school. This program would start on the first day of school, next school year, and it would go throughout the entire school year. So we ask that if this is something that you're interested in, that you do fill out the form saying that you're interested, and then we would share additional information on how to register before the school year begins. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Dawn Bridges to share more information about the program.
Thank you. So I am super excited to be here. So I will tell you that Illinois is my home. And so this is near and dear to my heart. I will also tell you that I come to you today as a former administrator in public education. And so you are in amazing hands. And so I have to start by saying, before I introduce my team, a big shout out to Dr. McCluskey and to your Board of Education, because they see the value of out of school time, and we'll kind of dive into what that really looks like. And so it's a lot to have a district financially be able to come forward and say that they're going to support this. And that is something that I think is really progressive thinking, and it's very much the way that a lot of districts across the country are moving towards. And so I commend your district, and you should all feel very lucky that they are trying to bring this to you, because they know how important it is that families and students are taken care of before, during, and after school. And so with that, I'm going to take a minute to introduce my amazing team. Again, you have an A team in really, really great hands. I'm going to turn over to Jenna, and she's going to introduce the rest of her team who is with you today.
Thank you. So first off, I'm going to apologize. I'm kind of losing my voice, but it's working right now, so we're good there. I am Jenna. I am the Senior Area Manager for Illinois. What that looks like for me is I help support my wonderful area managers. This is Sarah. She will be your area manager for Bensonville. What that means is she will be hiring the top talent to be working with your children every single day to ensure that they're having a great, fun school year and really having that educational component as well. So I'm going to hand it over to Sarah to introduce herself.
Hi everyone. If you haven't grabbed my card already, there's some on the table back there. You're welcome to call me, email me with any questions you may have after today. I'm going to be, as Jenna said, hiring all of the wonderful team of educators that are going to be working with your children day in, day out, and I'm just really excited to be here. So just a great point of contact for you all as we get started.
There's candy in the back as well if you want candy, and there's little tattoos for your kids for Right at School, so bring them home.
Awesome. There will be plenty of time to do that. So in the back, please wave Jonathan and Amy. They are also with Right at School. They support other districts. But we really feel it's important that you get a sense of who we are and what we're about. And we'll kind of dive into that a little bit more. But before we get started, I want to share with you, I know that Dr. McCluskey shared with you around your interest. So right here, if you have an opportunity, and I'll make sure that I display this. Oh, I can't really move my shoulder. There's a QR code. If you use your camera on your phone, you should be able to get a link right to that. That's also where you can get the interest form. I know it's on the sheet that you have, so that's also important. And then if you have an opportunity, and you can with your phone, take a quick picture of this. So just to kind of check in, you can go right to our website and you can see all the great information about who we are, specifically about the opportunities for Bensonville as well, and put your name and information, and we'll get you kind of signed up and registered in that link as well. So I'll just pause for one quick second so that you can at least, and you can do it at home, there's no rush. All right. No. We'll talk about that. Oh, that's okay. All good. It's all good. Okay, so for tonight, we're going to kind of go through. Here's our agenda. We're going to talk about who we are, why we do what we do, and why it's important. We're going to go through what the schedule looks like. I know it's really important for you to have a good understanding of knowing the fun that your children are going to be able to have. We're going to talk a little bit more about staff. We'll talk about safety, because we know how important that is and how you feel safe and secure with that. We'll talk about what makes us different, and then we're here to answer any questions that you might have, because we know how important it is for you to know that your children are in great hands and they're going to have this amazing opportunity. Next. So who are we? So Right at School started over a decade ago. Our CEO is also an educator, and he was picking his own kids up in a gym that looked kind of a little like this, and there was craziness going on, and it was really just babysitting. And he said, we need to do something better for kids. We want kids to have fun. We want to build this love of learning, because we know how important it is. We want kids to be lifelong learners and really want to just continue to explore, think about what their interests are, what do they feel like they're good at, and just opportunities to kind of have that playground of fun in an after-school environment, still while being able to care for kids, because we know how important it is for all of you who have jobs and who can't be there at the end or of the school day, and ultimately give you that peace of mind knowing how safe they are. And so he set out to create this, and I will tell you, over the last decade, I have been with Right at School for over 4 years. And as I shared, I was a district administrator here in the state of Illinois for over 25 years. And I get the distinct privilege of going around, and I'm the educational expert for our organization, but I go around and I have conversations with district leaders all across the country. And I talk to them about what can school look like, and how important it is to be thinking about the entire day from when kids wake up until when kids go to bed. Because we realize that they're awake for 5,000 hours in a year, and they're only in school for 1,000 of those hours. That leaves 4,000 extra hours of time that we need to be looking at what we could be doing with kids and making sure that they're not just playing video games or they're just roaming around. And yes, ultimately, we still want them to have fun. So that's first and foremost, is fun. And let me tell you, when you look at Sarah and Jenna and my team here and me, we're fun. All right, so that's what we are about, and so that's what we've set up to do, and we're doing it all across the country. We have many districts in the state of Illinois. Our headquarters are here in Illinois, so you are in amazing hands with Illinois. Next slide. So with that, and I think I need help to play this video with your, did they leave? Oh yeah, she's gonna come and play this for us. This is just gonna give you a little taste of what after school looks like with Right at School.
Really give students an opportunity to grow and learn and become a part of the community, to strengthen their community.
When I think of Right at School, I think student-centered right away. Every decision that's made, the flexible planning that we experience with them centers around the needs of our students and families.
Having RAS on our campus allows them to follow our same expectations. We use PBIS, which is Positive Behavior Intervention Support, and our acronym is SOAR. So we hear RAS employees using SOAR.
It's apparent to us that there is a lot of expertise that goes into the creation of this curriculum.
One of the things I like most about the Right at School program is the junior educators, where we have the older students serving as tutors and mentors for the younger students.
I am grateful. Turn to your neighbor and tell them something you're grateful for.
The younger students grow through the help that they're getting, and the older students are growing by teaching and also through those mentorship opportunities.
Right at School disguised learning curriculum is pretty genius. It is a way for our students to enjoy, have fun, laugh, physically be engaged in formal learning without ever knowing it.
The kiddos ran up to me and were so excited to tell me about this bridge that they were building. At that time, students didn't know that it was a science lesson, that it was on physics, it was on gravity, it was on motion.
They are doing a animal shelter donation drive and fundraiser where they develop posters, they develop communication, they can do the PA announcements. It helps our students to Right at School know that they can develop a sense of empathy, that they can give back.
The Right at School staff are phenomenal. I have always asked, what are your recruiting secrets?
They have not only recruited from within the community, but even within our own school district. And so they have used some of our current staff members, and so there's a seamless transition for our students.
It is the core mission of Right at School to ensure that their staff has all the state-of-the-art training and that they're up on all the programs that we're using in our school. And that has meant all the difference.
I think one of the great things about Right at School is their structure. It's a very balanced program, and so students are able to have physical movement outside, their social emotional learning. We gave Right at School a very difficult task. We gave them a 6-week runway to get the program started, and they did it. They were able to tailor the schedule to our needs.
They sat down, worked with us, collaborated, and they were able to develop a plan and a program that worked well for our students, our parents, and our staff.
They know us, they get us. This is truly a partnership. We're not just hiring someone to come in and do something that's canned.
I think what makes Right at School stand out is the fact that they are willing to work with our educators and our principals at our buildings and design experiences after school that help keep kids engaged, but also on track to make sure that they're successful in our classrooms the very next day.
I'm a parent, and I know that when school is over, I want my kids to be safe, happy, and productive. And Right at School provides all of that.
Parents have had nothing but great things to say about the relationships that our students are building with the staff members of Right at School. When you've got happy kids coming home every day, parents want their kids in this program.
So I share that video. Yes, thank you, thank you. A couple of really cool things about that video. First, 2 superintendents who were in that video have kids in our programs. So we always know that that's amazing, right? So you know that when people at the top put their own kids in it, how valuable it is. We have lots of teachers who put their own students in our programs. And we're gonna kind of talk a little bit about, I get really passionate about this because I love it and it's important. And I want to be really clear about the word balance. Ultimately, the last thing we want and the last thing your children want is at the end of the day of sitting in classrooms all day and learning math and reading and science and social studies to be sitting in another chair after school and be doing more math, more reading, more science, and more social studies. So when we say balance, we mean balance. So we greet them, this is the schedule. So when they come in, what you will see is our team, our amazing team, Sarah and her team will greet them name to face. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Jenna. How was your day? Meet them at their level. That's important because the number one thing that's necessary for kids today is to have that person, have that someone, and build relationships with them. So that's a big thing of what we do. That's one big skill that we really work on with kids. And we greet them, we ask them how they are, we're very interested, invested in them. And then we come together as a whole group, wherever that might be in the building. It might be this particular room in this school, I'm not sure. And we do what we call a town hall. It's kind of like a morning meeting where everyone comes together. And that's how we build a sense of community. Because we know how important it is for kids, so that's the number 2 thing, is we want kids to feel a sense of belonging. We want them to know that they are a part of something, an amazing group together. And so, excuse me, something's dry. This amazing community, and this is also in this space where we focus on some of those soft skills, the social emotional skills, really working to be able to communicate with one another. We talk about conflict resolution. You heard in the video, they were talking about I am grateful. So we have a monthly I am unit as part of our social emotional pieces that we do, and kids go through and do different various activities. There's movement in that, there's collaboration. They also talked in this video. So this video that it's really new. We just went on site to different programs and just videotaped. So it wasn't anything that was contrived. But that junior educator program that we talk about is a lot for like 4th, 5th graders who are getting a little bit old, to be in some of these programs sometimes. And it's just this rejuvenation for them. They get so excited, they have to apply, they have a special badge, they get to help create some of the activities, they're kind of that peer mentor. They love it. It's a highlight. You can see it in the video. That also happens kind of in this town hall space. And they get a healthy snack, which we provide. So you will get that healthy snack, oranges, apples, whatnot. And we ask, and again, we also know too, as being parents ourselves, sometimes kids eat every 5 minutes. So if you need to send another snack, you can. We just ask that it's like, peanut free, nut free, and then if there's any other allergies, we'll make sure that that's communicated that you can't have specific items. But that's when we come together and do types of things. And so from there, then we'll go, and that's about 20 minutes. It gets everybody settled a little bit, once they're coming in and trickling in after school. And then we go into Right Moves. And Right Moves is a fitness blast. Again, everything we do is intentionality, but it's fun. So kids aren't gonna know, they're just gonna come in and think that they're just a part of something fun and amazing. So they're gonna do a fitness blast. It might look like the hokey pokey. There might be music, there might be hula hoops, there might be, some jumping and whatever. There might be directions that they have to follow. Again, these are the skills that they're working on. We're not standing up and saying, okay, we're working on, following directions today. We're just gonna do it, we're gonna model it, we're gonna repeat it, we're gonna make it be fun in a very authentic way. And so that's also an opportunity for kids to get the wiggles out. They've been sitting around all day for like 5.5 hours at school during the day, so we wanna make sure that they're all ready. And then after that fun time and we're playing some music and all of that, we'll go into homework help. And we know how important that is, because I don't know about you, but sometimes it's challenging to do some, I get some smiles here, challenging for even parents to do some of this homework some days. So we take the time to sit and work with kids to make sure that their homework is done so that when you are picking them up, you can focus on dinner and family time, because that's what's important. Okay, so that's homework help time. And then we'll go into some more activities, again, movement, some type of transition, and then we'll go into what we call daily double triple play. And that's our curriculum, and I'll talk about it in another slide, but you could have heard the superintendent talk about it. It's called disguised learning. Again, there's skill, there's things that they're gonna be working on, but it's meant to be fun, and that's why it's disguised, so they don't know. And then after that, there'll be more time for more fitness and fun. It might be out on the playground, it might be some specific type of game. Again, everything we do has intentionality around it, but kids aren't gonna know that, they're just gonna think it's fun. And because we're going from kind of station to station or activity to activity, kids are constantly engaged. They're always having fun, there's not a lot of free time for them. But also know, and then by this time it's like 5:30, and I will say this, if you come pick your kid up early, which you can come and pick them up at any point, 5, 5:30, 6. The longer they stay, the more they get. But I'm gonna tell you, if you pick your kid up at 5 o'clock and they're in the middle of doing one of these activities, they might start to cry, they might yell at you, they might ask you to go get a cup of coffee and come back in a half an hour. I'm not kidding you, I go all across the country and I take people in programs sometime and they're like, did you make that happen? I'm like, nope, but it happens everywhere because that's how much fun these kids are having and that's how much they are engaged. So that's super fun. So just have that in mind. It's gonna happen, watch. And lastly, we always have opportunities for self-directed inquiry. And that's really meeting kids where they are. this is a great opportunity after school to think about passion projects. What are kids interested in? So maybe there's an activity that we do in our own curriculum that they want to extend, or they want to dive in deeper, they want to learn more. Maybe it's, I like sharks and I want to learn more about sharks. Sure, you can learn more about sharks. Or I'm building something, I want to rebuild it or think about doing it another way. Great, there's opportunity for that in this space. This is a great opportunity for that to happen. Next slide. Ultimately, fun, choice, community. Those are the three big things. While this slide is a little challenging to see, you will have a copy of it. I know that they'll put it on the website. But these are just samples of the different units that we do throughout the year. And when I tell you that titles are like The Variety Show, or Movin' and Groovin', or Time Travelers, or Around the World in 15 Days, you know that there's fun going with it. So you can see across the top, we do focus on community and sportsmanship and literature and exploration and culture and history and science and engineering and all of that. But kids don't see it as that. They see it as fun. Earth's wildest animals. And I will say what kids love more than anything is putting together a variety show. So again, that opportunity for performing arts and those types of things is really great for kids. Next. So our disguised learning, this is the curriculum that I talked about. It is aligned to all the national academic standards. Everything we do is also aligned to CASEL social emotional competencies, which are those soft skills because we know how important those are. Helping kids, follow directions, conflict resolution, self-regulate. We know how difficult that is for little ones to sit still and be able to control their own emotions and know how to do that. So those are the types of skills that we are reinforcing after school. But a lot of this, of what we do, is fun. And so I highlight this, this particular unit always called Inventors Workshop because it allows kids to think about dreaming. What are they good at? What do they want to do when they grow up? And it really unpacks them. What's the problem of the world that they're trying to solve? And we help them go through that iterative process, kind of a design thinking process. And all of our stuff, while it is aligned to the academic standards, it really does focus more a lot on problem solving, critical thinking, communication, being able to work with one another. Because when we know, when we're working and talking and having conversations in the field of education with employers, and we're saying, what are the skills that you want your future employees to have? What does student success mean? This is what they're looking for. Not that, their math facts, were memorized and all of that, although that is important, I'm just saying. Okay, next slide. So that was basically it about the academics, and we can kind of go through if you have any questions at the end. But I want to kind of focus a little bit more on staff. Because ultimately, you're leaving your kiddos, and we are an outside organization while we really do believe in extended learning opportunities, and we will be collaborating with your building staff here as well as your district staff. So your principal will be in constant contact with us, the office staff, we'll see your custodial staff on a daily basis, those types of things, but we are separate. So we do want to make sure that we take time talking about our hiring and how important it is to us, because we know when we think about success in schools, how important it is for your building principal and your district superintendent to make sure that they're hiring the best teachers and educators possible, because that's what makes your kiddos successful. We believe the same. So we put a lot of time and effort in that, and making sure that we create an environment that is a fun place to play, to learn, as well as to grow. So first of all, safety is our #1 priority. I'm going to move over here just to give you guys a little bit of love over here. Safety is our #1 priority, and so just before anyone ever sets foot in this building, know that there's an entire process of vetting. So a lot of work and time is spent on a pretty exhaustive process. Background checks, FBI, BCI, sex offender, abuse neglect registries, past employment history. We want to make sure that we are hiring the best and that there are no hiccups in anyone's history, and that we are finding people who love and want to work with students. We also then, before they set foot in that, there's a lot of modules, and I'll kind of give you an example of what those look like. But we go through lots of different procedures. We want to make sure that they understand check-in and check-out procedures. We want to make sure that they understand everything about student safety, evacuation. We will have already had conversations and are already probably starting to have conversations from an implementation standpoint about this specific building. Where are we going to be? What are the words that are used to talk to students about lockdown drills or evacuation procedures or tornadoes? Just like they practice during the day, we will do the same after school. We will use that same language. It's very important to us. So making sure that we're partnering with you in doing that. And again, ultimately, it's making sure that we're continuously practicing and doing those quality checks. Now, just like principals walk into teachers' classrooms and make sure that things are going well and there's evaluations and we're making teachers better at their craft, we do the same at Right at School. And so we have a staff that's part of Jenna's role, that's Sarah's role, to make sure that they are on site going in and helping to support the educators get better at what they're doing. Next slide. And so as I shared kind of the process of first of all, they'll go through a bunch of online modules. They have to get through that, they have to take tests, they have to be successful in that. Then they will come together and do some on-site training that's off-site of this campus, but working together, doing different types of scenarios, just to make sure that they're doing it the Right at School way. And then they will come on-site once we get closer to, and they'll do training actually with people on-site. And again, we're in 22 states across the country. And so we have a huge training department. We have departments that really kind of help and manage all of that, as well as that coaching and support, wanting to make sure that educators like myself are helping to support and give them what's necessary to continue to improve. We also incentivize our staff and want them to grow with us. And so we will look for paraeducators, we'll look for teachers in this area, those who want to continue to really work with students, and we will pay them more the longer they work with us. Because ultimately, we want staff who are prepared, they're engaged, and they feel really confident and really want to be with kids. And that's how you see our excitement of what we do. And so here's just kind of a couple of examples of the training and development that we do. And again, it constantly is coming around, and they're re-getting different things. So again, wanting to ensure that our staff knows and understands how to work with students who have special needs. Wanting to make sure that they have an understanding of our curriculum instruction. How do you ask open-ended questions? How do you get students excited and want to participate in some of the things that we do? How do you work on safety and reporting? So all those types of things, like if a student falls and they, skin their knee, scrape their knee, like there's a protocol that has to go through that, and there's a report that has to be written, and phone calls that need to be made. We want to make sure that we are following all of those in alignment with what's happening in the district as well. Ultimately, you're the ones that come and pick them up. Again, we also want to make sure that we're serving your needs. We're, inquiring with you, what are the things that you want? And we're also inquiring with the district. What's important to the district? What are the things that we can offer more of? In the video you saw, we're a service-driven organization. A lot of the fun things that we do are, what's the need in the area? How can we do something? There was that puppy drive or something that was in the video. They created that and came up with that on their own. Because again, when you come together and you build that sense of community, that's what happens. So how are we different than anyone else? You know what? Ultimately, we really spend a lot of time on our staff. We know that making sure that they feel confident and that they're highly qualified makes them stay, and we don't have that turnover. We pay more, and so we're really getting the quality that we need to ensure that they're providing the service to your student that they need. As I shared, our curriculum is aligned to academic and social emotional standards. We have an online parent portal. So you can go online when you're looking for the days that you want to be here. You can sign up for those days. And so those are locked in. So if you know that you wanna never come on Fridays, but you wanna be there Monday through Thursday, you can sign up and that goes right in on the online portal. Our customer service staff, so in addition to Sarah, who is your first point, and then Jenna, we have a customer service phone number. You can call them. They are always there. They're there to answer and help you with any questions that you might have. And we also know that all of you have, you know, your own individual needs as parents. So we want to know, we want to grow with you, we want to learn about you. And so anything that you need to tell us about your child so that they can be successful, we want to hear about it. Here is the contact information. I would also take a picture of that. That is our Right at School contact number, as well as Jenna's email address if you have any questions after tonight. And I know in front of you, you have a flyer that really kind of goes through and because the district is paying for this, which is amazing, there are only so many slots, and we want to make sure that we can provide as much service to as many students as we can. And so we really want to be able to garner interest from all of you, and those of you who are listening at home, and those of you who might watch the video next week. So if you have interest and you want your child in this program, we need to hear from you. We need you to fill it out. We need you to, put, so if you have a family of 3 kids, put all 3 kids, right? So we will be servicing programs at Johnson and here at Tioga, correct? Yeah. Okay, these are the 2 locations that we will be providing services after school when school day ends up until 6 o'clock.
I have a question. Are you only able to come if you register online ahead of time? Save it ahead of time?
Yes.
Just mark it out first and you can just bring them?
Correct.
Okay.
That's a really great question. So the question is, can we just show up with our kid on a daily basis?
No,
And-
not daily, but
Oh.
then, like if you don't mark it off, they just come anyways, or they have to be assigned?
So there are only so many slots. So let's just say, for example, there are 80 slots. So that means 80 students can come on a daily basis.
Okay.
If you want your child to be in this program, I would fill out that form and register so that they are guaranteed a spot in the program. And so what happens, unfortunately, is if there's 180 students that want to participate, we're gonna need to do a lottery to see who those 80 kids are that are gonna be able to take advantage of the program.
And it would be a family lottery?
Yes.
So that the siblings are together, it would be an individual student lottery.
Okay, I'll say that so you can hear on the mic. So it would be a family lottery. So if you have 3 kids, to make sure that all of your kids are in the program, we're not gonna do an individual so that your older child is in, but your younger one didn't make it. It would be a family lottery system if we have to get to that point. Okay? I have nothing else in regards to our presentation, but I do want to be able to answer any questions that you might have about this program. Yes?
It's only for students attending the 2 schools up through 5th grade, it's not for middle school age children?
That is correct. My understanding is the program that is currently in place at the middle school for next year will remain the program at the middle school. Okay? Yes? So that's a great question. So I believe that this, we're asking for interest up through June 2nd. And after June 2nd, we will then look to see how many names are on the list. And if we have to do a lottery, they will do a lottery at that point and then notify who is in. So I'm assuming within a week after that, you would be able to know if your child was able to get into that program or not, or your children, your family. Other questions? Yes?
So it's possible to do like 3 or 4 days, because I read before that kids are encouraged to do 5 days, but you said it's possible to do
So
4 days?
yes, so the encouragement is, again, for you to do 5 days. We recognize that you might have other activities and or such, but we also recognize that the district is paying for this and we want to be able to service need. So if you know that you can commit to 3, 4, or 5 days, we usually consider that more of like the full-time, so yes, you're good. If you said, oh, I just know that I want to just be able to take advantage of it one day a week, they're gonna monitor that attendance. And so if there's a family that didn't get in and that they're gonna need it 5 days a week, and if you're taking up a spot for 1 day a week, that's where, does that make sense? Does everybody understand that?
And because we have minimal spots, right now, we're looking for those families who are willing to commit to those 5 days, so that we know that we have space available for those that need the 5 days.
Yep. Yes.
Are we also able to do it like before school, or is this strictly just after school?
This, at this point, is strictly after school. Once we kind of get things going, we know that there may be a need, there may be an opportunity down the road, once we get this kind of going, to say, oh, there is, 35 students who need access in the morning, and it might be a paid piece. We will have that conversation as we continue to grow the partnership, because we recognize as we're here longer that need becomes a necessity. Yes.
I don't know if I missed it or not, but is it, how long is this program available for?
Great. So it starts the day, the first day of school, and we are here to support and provide activities every day that school is in session, okay? And with that, I know that you might have early release days, so those who are in the program, it starts, so if school ends at like 1:30 or 2 o'clock on that Tuesday, I think it is, that they are able to participate in that day as well. And so all days that school is in session through the whole school year. Yep. Any other questions? Yes?
What is so it goes until 6 every single day?
Yep. Goes until 6 every single day. We encourage you to allow your kid to stay. We recognize most parents are picking their kids up by like 5:30. There's usually like 5 kids left, that's kind of how it goes. But if you come and know that one day you're gonna pick your kid up at 4:45, don't pick your kid up before, that's not a problem. Yep.
Are they separated by grade or are they all together?
Great question. They are all together. Now granted, knowing that there's gonna be about 80 slots, we will probably split them up depending upon the activity. So it might start, as I shared about that whole town hall being together, and then maybe for homework help, they might go to different tables by grade band to do something. Or if they're doing a particular activity that might be, more focused for older students, they might be there. And then it also, because it depends, when we think about this lottery system or who signs up, if we have all second graders, and then a handful of fifth graders, we're gonna work through what that looks like, so it just depends upon how many in each grade level and what those different activities look like. So I would say it's usually both. Yes?
So I was trying to, the Q code to sign up, but the school district is not available.
That-
Unless I did the wrong one.
That QR code should take you to the interest thing, which I know earlier was locked.
It's good now.
Oh, it's good now.
But not the district is not listed. So this Bensonville's not on the list. So if I look at the district,
Oh, it's not, correct. Okay, let me explain why, thank you. It's not open yet because, in theory, you could skirt around the system and sign your kid up if we had it open. So it's not open now because we wanted to do the interest survey first. So let me go back to that slide to make sure that. Yep. There are two, that's probably, okay. This QR code.
This flyer,
Yep.
this is the interest form flyer.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, thank you, thank you for pointing that out. So on the interest survey, which is the sheet that Sarah just showed, that QR code as well as this QR code is really where you need to go first. Now, if you went to writeatschool.com like you were, you can scroll through and show, you'll get all the information that you need, all the research, everything is on there of what kind of the programs look like. It's not listed because the district, since they're paying for this, wanted to make sure that you went through this route first before we opened it up and said, oh, you can bring your family, right? Because if we just opened it, then anyone could go ahead and register, and we didn't want to have to go back and circumvent and say, well, sorry, you might not be able to be in the program. So we wanted to make sure that we provided opportunities for everyone to have access.
Are you doing the drawing by the sign up of this QR?
So there is no need to do a drawing because the district is paying for this.
If there's over 80 children at this facility as well as the other one, wouldn't it be more practical to stop at Christmas, the second semester, and give another 80 children the opportunity to participate?
It's a great question. I know that the district office is listening to you. We also recognize and know sometimes, depending upon how things go with other programs, that sometimes that's not feasible. We will take a look at what that looks like and how many there are to determine what the next step might be, to be able to offer to ensure that we can provide access to as many as we
Because
can.
the programs that they offered this year, kids couldn't get in because there's so much interest in it.
Right.
And then they really didn't have a choice in getting into any.
Right. And I recognize that, and thank you for sharing that. And I will say this too, as we think from a sustainability standpoint, conversations are also had of, there's not, infinite amounts of dollars to be able to do that. And when I tell you that as I work across the country in 50 states, this is a rarity that you get the opportunity to be able to have it paid in full. And so that might then become a sliding scale or something so that at least more kids can have access to that. But I know the district is committing to providing as much as they can at this point to ensure that as many kids can have access, because we know how expensive that it can be. Any other questions? Well, let me just say, we are super excited. I know I can tell you in spending many months with your superintendent and your district office staff, they have been working tirelessly to find funding and to find money to ensure that you can have access to this, because they know how important it is. And so they are determined to continue to find ways to make sure that we can make this a sustainable opportunity for as many students as we can. We, as a Right at School team, are super incredibly excited about the opportunities and what your kids are going to be able to experience next year. I'm more than thrilled that we have Sarah. We've had Jenna for a long time, but Sarah's already in place. She is ready to rock and roll. And that part of the process has already started, so you are going to be in great hands when the school year kicks off. And we're looking forward to it. Ladies, do you have anything you want to add?
No, just thank you. We're really excited to meet your kids. Can't wait.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we wish you a great night and a great rest of your school year. So thank you for coming out.